Hey everyone, I'm Candace Dyer, and this is Canna Corner. We are broadcast live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. After that, it's uploaded on the YouTube channel, the Canna Corner over there. And we are sponsored by, we have a new sponsor actually, a Roach and Bud over here. You can see behind me, and I'm super excited to announce that he's our newest. And then of course, KM420 Radio. And then we've got Go Green and WJAE 420 Radio, which they replay Canna Corner every Wednesday at 2. And then KM420 on Sundays replays a bunch of cannabis shows, and Canna Corner is on 2 o'clock. And so, yeah, you can catch all those places. And I wanted to thank the sponsors so much. They make all this possible. And the Ed Show, Mile High News. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to check that out, but if you go look up the Ed Show on Facebook and on YouTube, you can find the Wendy Love Ed Show. And that comes out every Wednesday at 7 after it's aired on the Fayetteville TV public television. And so big shout out to her. And you can check out Mile High News, which is a segment on that show. So super proud to be a part of that. Super proud to be a part of the KM420 team. And without further ado, we've got 2 special guests today. KM420 Radio sisters. We've of course got Brandy that couldn't make it today, and Renee. So we love them, and we know that they're we hope they're doing okay, and they rock. Thank y'all for doing what you do with KM420 Radio. Okay, so I'm gonna admit them now. We got Farrah Hunter that's coming, and we've got Trisha Mullen, our newest member of KM420 Radio. So y'all get to meet her too. I'm super excited about that. So, hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hello.
I'm not sure, Farrah. Your camera's sideways.
Oh, now, really? How's that?
Sorry. Better. Yay. You're not coming from the wall.
That's a
How
good
are y'all doing today? Y'all doing all right today? It might be a little glitchy.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, Trisha. Doing great.
Fabulous.
I know you're coming right after losing a good friend, and I really appreciate you being here.
Happened?
So yeah, would you talk a little bit about that? Because this is a big deal with the cannabis community, the opioid crisis and stuff. So if you don't mind, can you say a little something about it?
Well, out here in Pontiac, Michigan, in Michigan in general, the opiate crisis, it's really more of a fentanyl crisis out here.
Right.
Is the real issue, and it's killing people left and most of the street drugs out here are cut with fentanyl, whether it's heroin, cocaine, or crack. They're pretty much using it for all. So you're constantly seeing people die over it, and sometimes it's people that you didn't even realize were on drugs, like you're shocked.
Right.
Which is kind of the case for me recently. You know,
man,
you really never know who's out there going through what battle.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, but definitely cannabis is fentanyl free. That's for sure.
Right.
And cannabis is definitely medically friendly. And for me, I'm pro cannabis, and I'm just lucky and so glad that I am, because for those of people who aren't, it's even a bigger risk to take those forms of drugs or medications, even because even there's fake pharmaceutical meds out here. That's how good the suppliers have gotten with fentanyl. Even the pills are cut with fentanyl. So you really got to be careful, anybody who's on any street drugs out here in Michigan, unless it's cannabis, because that's about the only thing that fentanyl hasn't touched yet.
Right. And the reason, I don't know, the majority of people that I see that have gone on to, there are the few that just start using those harder drugs, but they come from pharmaceuticals. Like they start taking an opioid and the doctor cuts them off on that, and so they end up going to the street. And I know that's a shame. Like I wish that everybody had access to cannabis so they could get off all those crazy drugs.
You're absolutely right, especially when the FDA changed all the rules and laws. It left a lot of people that the doctors were giving, a long list of medications to that they could no longer give to figure out another option.
Right.
And that happened to be their other option. So you're absolutely right. The pharmaceutical company is a big role in the issue. A lot of these people that are using drugs daily or have come from pharmaceutical or are still on pharmaceutical drugs, and they use it in between when they're waiting for their next prescription because they aren't getting enough anymore because of their addiction level to it.
For sure, love. Well, I know that you're new to the team, and like I said, I really appreciate you being here after losing a friend. I my heart really goes out to you. And thank you so much for still coming on the show and talking about it. I think it's an important topic for people to learn about.
It definitely is. Cannabis is a life changer, whether it's for medical use or any form of use. For me, cannabis has personally helped with my medical issues. Like, amazingly, I'm not in pain every day. I can eat, I can gain weight now. I'm not throwing up all my food 24 hours a day. Cannabis does numerous of things, and it's magical. It's like that magic bean.
For sure. Now, I know that, sorry, Farrah, go ahead.
I just said it's definitely magical. I love cannabis.
Right, for sure. I know it helps a lot too. I wanted to ask Trish, I know you're our newest member of KM420, but other than KM420 radio, you have some things that you're doing. Do you want to talk about that for a second before we announce our big thingy?
Sure, I would love to. Well, I'm the founder and the CEO of the 420 Smoke Room, where we have a Facebook group, but we also do a podcast show that I do. The podcast show is based around cannabis and how people basically get off of pharmaceutical meds to get on cannabis, or how they incorporate it with some pharmaceutical meds to down some of the numbers of what they're on. So, they're on like 10, 15 meds and they get off half of them and replace it with cannabis. So we kind of discussed a little bit about that journey and what it entails and how they've gotten to the point they are in their health battles, a little bit about each person's story, personal touch per se. And then I also have another podcast show that I do, which is Sprinkle Some Love with a Cause, which kind of led me a little bit to cannabis. It's more about medical problems with the pharmaceutical company and how a lot of people have rare diseases over there that can't be treated with cannabis, but also the pharmaceutical company just hasn't gotten enough treatment yet. So they're kind of left with no treatment because cannabis isn't the answer, and the pharmaceutical companies just don't care enough to provide better answers. So between the two podcast shows, I kind of really just try to bring more awareness to medical issues all the way around. So I'm really excited about both of those shows. The 420 Smoke Room, I've been really working hard on lately. So I'm really excited about all of the great new things that's got going on. Plus, we have a couple new guest speakers coming that I'm really excited about that have some big events taking place. I don't want to be surprised yet. I'll leave those for later. But I'm really excited to also be working with KM420 Radio. And my show re-airs on your guys' platform as well, twice a week, once on Tuesdays and normally Thursdays. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know, I'm just constantly just doing what I love. It's amazing.
That's awesome, girl. I know that with all the people out there coming off opioids and getting on cannabis, it not being something that a lot of people are educated on, so they're relying on people that have been using it and are patients ourselves, and you're creating an environment for those people to come together and talk about it and ask questions and learn, because we're learning more and more about this amazing plant every day. And so I commend you on that. And if anybody wants to go listen to your show, where would they go?
You can go to Spotify or iHeartRadio. I'm pretty much on all platforms though. So if you Google me, but wherever you listen to podcasts is at, I'm on like 30 different platforms, but it re-airs on all of them. So you can catch me anywhere pretty much.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining the KM420 crew. We're so excited to have you. Farrah, I know we haven't been taught. Everybody knows Farrah. I don't even need to introduce you, but okay. So for the new people, Farrah Hunter is one of the head with Renee of KM420 Radio. I guess the president. I don't know what you're the head of it. So y'all started it. You want to tell a little bit about KM420 Radio?
Sure. We at KM420 Radio are ran by a whole bunch of cannabis warriors. So it's me, it's Renee, it's Candace, it's Trisha, and then it's Miss Brandy. And so she supports cannabis on a different level, like she doesn't use, but she knows it helps people, and she does support CBD. So she supports with that. And, we just, oh my God, on our station, what we do is we want you to have a nice, uplifting place to come listen to music. And it's very random, just like your iPod would be, like it's just random music. And then we also support independent artists. So we have the independent artist badass showcase every day from 12 to 3ish, depending on how many songs I load in there. And we love our indie artists. So if you're an indie artist and you want to be heard on the radio, you want to hear yourself on the radio, just send us an email. We'll put that in the chat, so you'll have that. But we support indie artists. We support cannabis. We educate on cannabis. Sundays, we do replays of all the cannabis education that we support, which is the Canna Corner, Wendy Love Edge, and the Edge Show. We also play, well, he's not cannabis, but we also play Excellent 80s by Gary Till. So Sundays is just like our, random day with
Seth is one of them too, I think. Yeah, hell yeah. It's awesome educational Sunday.
Yep. And Trisha's on there Sundays. She's on there twice. She's on the at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Heck yeah.
But we just love everybody. And if you got good vibes, and you're an indie artist, hit us up. We'd love to play your music. We love indie artists.
Yes, and there's a lot of good ones out there. Like, it's crazy. I don't know why they haven't been signed yet. Like Brandy and like people that should be like up there. And the only difference is they don't have money to pay these radio stations all this money. They're just starting out. They just want to be heard, and we don't charge anything. We
That's right.
Because we want them to be heard, because we know they're so good, and we know that that's a difficult issue out there in the musical world. So that's awesome. That's what I love about it.
That's right. We never charge, ever.
Heck yeah.
Yes, well, amazing thing. You guys also support so many artists that are just looking to be heard. Like, it's amazing, because most radio stations you hear are charging just for commercial time, let alone to get their music aired once or twice or 5 times. Like, they sell a package deal, and it's like there's none of those hidden fees or package deals here. It's just straight up hardcore support.
That's right. And we're, uncensored. So, the songs with the curse words or whatever, we can play those too. And we have a lot of weed songs, because we, of course, support weed. So we have a lot of those as well. Like, we got so many great artists that we play. I think I'm up to about 25 independent artists that I play in the 12 o'clock hour.
And isn't it like over 100,000 listeners right now?
Yeah, I think we're at 121,500.
Congratulations.
We're doing really well.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Oh my God, look at that. That is some amazing numbers. I am so proud.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're just sharing the love. And when you share the love, it comes back threefold. So that's all it is.
Definitely. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
It is.
I can't wait for us to be able to pass cannabis through the computer one day.
Right, like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the chocolate, that instead of blowing just goes to Farah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I want to be able to share the pot next.
That's
Pass
great.
the joint. Heck yeah.
Yes.
That's
It's a
awesome.
Vibe and chill and just smoke it up for sure.
Heck yeah. Well, I know that we've got some big news, and I
We
think
do?
I've been keeping everybody like,
I'm just bad. If you got my panties in a bunch, I'm ready to let that shit loose.
right. Okay, so Carrie Cannon came to us and asked if we would do the DFW area walk for the End Prohibition Worldwide March. So anyone in any state that wants to do this, hit us up and I'll give you the group link, and I'll also put it in the chat of the End Prohibition Worldwide March. But for DFW area, we've been asked to get that organized for y'all. So we talked to Hempy's, of course, Hempy's Smoke Emporium, and they are in Arlington, and they're amazing. They're always at the cannabis marches and just doing all kinds of support and helping Normal and helping just everywhere they can. And so they are allowing us to go do our prohibition protest over there, and we're going to kind of make a little event out of it, not like a bunch of booths or anything, but more like just talking to people. And I think Hempy said that they were going to cook some hot dogs and has some balloons. And then this is Roach and Bud and KM 420 Radio presents the End Prohibition March, Worldwide March. So if y'all are in the DFW area, Pothead is going to be there with Roach and Bud, and so will Troy. And he'll be signing stuff and doing giveaways and maybe hold some signs, bring some signs and flags. Man, I'm so excited. I know.
Good, I come. I'm so jealous that I'm so far. What state and what day? I need maybe God will bless me. Let me see this though.
The day will be 7/10, so July 10th, and it'll be in Arlington, Texas, from 2 to 6 at Hempy Smoke Emporium. I know Farrah's gonna go.
Wow,
I can't wait.
awesome.
I should plan.
Hell yeah, I wish you could go.
I'm coming.
In person. I want to do my march here too. Don't get me wrong, but I want to come. I want to get out and travel.
So we would love for you to be here. I know Renee said she's going to be here. Farrah's going to be here. So everybody in the DFW area that's been missing them because they're not around very much anymore because they moved. So you're going to be able to see them, and we're going to be doing interviews. And so you could do interviews for your podcast if you came. So it's going to be fun.
It sounds amazing. I think I'm interested. I got I can just talk my husband on into saving up for this trip.
Hell
so
yeah.
How do we sign up for fans here in Michigan and anywhere? How would we sign up and participate in a walk from afar? Like, how do I support?
Well, Carrie Cannon is organizing the whole nationwide walk. So as soon as I get off of here, I will be putting, oh, look, Carrie's in here. Yep.
Nice.
Carrie, will you put the link to your group, please, love? So there's the link. She'll get it in there. I know she will. She's a rock star.
So what we'll do is we'll follow her group and we'll reach out and she'll give us intel on each state and how we could participate based on our location.
Exactly. And it's super easy. Like, you don't even have to go to we know these people. So it was easy for us to get a place with them. Like, we support them and they support us. But you can just find a busy intersection and get a group of people together and have what I call a sign making party and like smoke a little bit and make some signs and have some fun. And then when you go to the event, wherever on a busy intersection on 7/10, all day long, there's going to be a worldwide protest. So you can do it whatever time it is that you want, and just get a hold of Carrie and she'll help you and explain more and get you involved in the group of a bunch of other cannabis activists that'll help you too.
That's amazing. So if I don't go, then I could host like a rally with a group of my friends here and we would still be able to participate.
Yes.
That's right.
I like it. I do.
Sure.
I'm down with both.
Yes, but we want this to be a worldwide thing. We want it to be the biggest impact it can make. So as many ones as we can get going on the same day at the same time frame, 24 hours, then that's what we want. We want a worldwide walk all over the world for this ending cannabis prohibition.
Absolutely.
Thank you, love. She put it in there. Awesome.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. I'm super
Definitely. I'm
excited.
excited to rally. Cannabis needs, I wish everybody could have the benefits of cannabis. Cannabis is definitely life changing. If it wasn't for cannabis, I would be back down to 75 pounds with a feeding tube. No lie.
For sure. For sure. There's so
Cannabis
many
has saved
stories like
me,
that.
and
It helps so many people, man. And I don't understand. No deaths. Come on, FDA. And even I think I seen an article the other day about the FDA dragging their feet. They're saying that they're dragging their feet because it's our politicians that are messing around. And of course, the politicians are going to blame it on the FDA. It's just such bullshit.
Yeah, it's past it's pity patty right now, and it's passed us around until we have no one else to answer to, and we throw a fit. So it's definitely time to throw that fit. July 10th, I'm ready.
Right.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get
love
back
it,
on the
Farrah.
street.
You're like, hell yeah.
Get it done. I love protests. That's one of my
Yes, I mean exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about you, but I live through these.
Legal here.
I live to get out on the street. It pumps me up. It helps keep me going on the computer doing the boring stuff. It just helps me to see all the support, getting the cars honk. And I recommend write a sign that says honk for weed or honk for cannabis or honk for cannabis being medicine or something, because that's what you want, is that public support. You'll see how many people out there actually support it. They don't care if the cops are around. The fire department even honks sometimes. I'm serious. Like, it's just amazing to see everybody that supports it.
It is. And, it's fully recreational here in my state. So if we can sit here on one hand and say it's completely legal in one state, what's the difference from you or I? We're both human. And what's the difference? The land we're on and the line that they said to cross, like a state line that's invisible, says that this jurisdiction is not, it's a no-no, but these people here have earned the right. So there's really like that, an invisible line, I feel like, and that's really the barrier. And
Yes.
How is it okay for me to be, I can be recreational where I can go to a dispensary right now with no license, no doctor, no approval, no disease, no condition, and just say, I want to smoke pot. And they'll say, which kind? What do you want? You want it in Kool-Aid? You want it in gum? How you want it? And I can leave there with an enormous amount and go back every day and replenish my shelves and be super wasted on cannabis, more wasted than I probably should be, because there's no actual limit here. Like you can just buy and smoke and smoke.
Whatever you're gonna smoke, yeah.
Right. So I just really think that it should be legal for everybody. Like, I don't understand what makes us different than any other state.
Well, the thing is with you though, I mean, I know you're legal and you're not going to get in trouble, but if the cops want to, they can still federally come in and raid whatever store that's there if they wanted to. I mean, you're not protected that way. And then you can't use the banking system.
But they do have a new thing that is up to where we are protected now. They can't. And they also put out new laws that they can no longer discriminate on jobs for it, nor can they no longer not hire you, nor can they drug test you for cannabis for jobs.
For sure. For sure.
Far in Michigan, but I really want everybody else to come just as far now and keep, like, I want it all to be across the map the same. I don't think that one should be more legal than the other, and I think that everybody should have that recreational use option. Recreational use is more important than we realize.
And y'all should be able to have banking transactions and use a bank like everybody else, instead of being forced to keep your money stockpiled in the back room and get robbed because you're carrying large amounts of cash. Like, there's still work to be done. The ending prohibition federally is like the thing we got to get done for I think these other states that aren't falling in line yet to fall in line. Once it's federally legal, I think it'll be legal everywhere. It'll be able to be used in the banking system. You'll be able to transport it, all of the above.
Well, I agree with you fully on that. And I think that once we become federally legal, it will definitely be across the map a ripple effect. And that's what we're waiting on. And as far as the money in the banking goes, I know John Deere actually got it to where we can put cannabis money now into
Hell
the
yeah.
banks. Yes, and Wells Fargo, and there's 4 other banking places out here in Michigan that now you're legally allowed to have cannabis banking.
That is awesome.
So we have that option now here, and we've had it for a little. I want to say since right before COVID, but now Wells Fargo and a few other places, as of January of this year, became official to where you can go in and put your cannabis business and cannabis money now in a cannabis bank account.
That is so great because it's so dangerous. People don't realize because that you make a lot of money.
And it changed crime here. It really did, because before COVID, the federal government was raiding all the shops and taking the money and the cannabis. And once that happened, there was no money to seize, and it was just the drugs that they have to dismiss of anyways. So there was no benefit. So the feds quit raiding all of the dispensaries now because
that's in the bank now.
Right, so now they can't profit because there's no profit in the raid.
So see what this proves, Trish. Do you realize what this proves? This proves our theory that this is why they were doing that. They were actually in cohorts. I reported on Mile High News about how these armored trucks would get targeted by the sheriffs, and the sheriffs got to keep 95% of what they found to do as they see fit. So they were in line with the sheriffs, and the federal government were working together to come bust these dispensaries. It was like a strong arm robbery that the cops and the feds were in on for dispensaries. So that is amazing that proves that now.
And yeah, you're definitely right. And any form of drug raid, a percentage of everything that's found goes back to that drug task force, so they can then up their equipment, like new cars, new guns, new shields. So the more money that each drug task force finds and comes across, the more products that they seize for as they call, like when they seize your stuff for buying it with drug money, they auction all of that off, and that's their profit. So they lost their profit because the banks are now holding the profit, and it's legitimately taxed and legitimately done. So at this point, we haven't actually seen dispensaries get raided or shut down in about 2 years. The ones that have made it through those initial raids are strong armed robbery, as we should say. They're still here now, and they're no longer dealing with those issues. But we don't see a lot more pop-ups now. Trying to get into the market isn't so easy because that was part of their scam. They would let you in, rob you, shut you down, and then you would go. So you would constantly see an evolving door of new dispensaries with new owners on every other corner. Then Pontiac the mayor was accepting money and briberies for the cannabis stuff, and she got in trouble, and now she's under a legal investigation, and she lost her position. She's like in a lot of legal trouble for running the cannabis scandal. But now she's like, that's done. So pretty much the dispensaries that are here, but they're not being messed with no more. They're able to send their money to and from banks. We're able to do recreational taxes and regular dispensary taxes. So there's 2 different tax brackets depending on whether you have a license or don't have a license for cannabis. So you just got a higher tax bracket. So Uncle Sam is now actually seeing the revenue from the recreational use versus the strong armed robbery because they don't have that option no more.
Right. Well, that's awesome. That's how it should be in all states. And the only way to get there is federally legalize it. And Carrie was saying it's estimated that 400,000 people are in federal prison for the plant at this moment. So that's another thing that they're doing this protest over for, is the people who are still locked out. There are people doing life still in prison still for a plant. Well, Barrett, what do you think about that, Barrett?
I think that's incredible, and that should not be happening. There should not be people in jail for life for a plant that we can grow that has medical benefits, that more than half of the US has agreed it has medical benefits. I mean, it's a travesty. That shit should not be happening. Oops.
Yes, it's killed nobody. It's never hurt, killed anybody ever. Like, I don't understand. The only thing, and this is what we've been screaming, that it's a strong arm robbery on these plant places have been saying they're taking my money. And she just said exactly what we've been saying is true. We were telling y'all the pharmaceutical gains to get the money. It's a greed thing that they are playing with your health because they want the money. That should piss you off. Like,
it does. It's like
piss you off.
It does. And I can't believe the numbers you said of how many people are still currently incarcerated. That's almost 500,000 people if you round it up.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people that, and if those are in private jails, you know how many paychecks they're providing to other businesses? More than the cannabis purchase itself. Like, you know, the private jails make way more money than the cannabis industry.
Yes, they make money. It's slavery. Slavery still exists on all colors, and it's called our prison system. They put them in there. They get them to work and run this prison for free, no money. And some Texas, they don't give them nothing or pennies to do this work, and they work them all day long. And they make money off of their phone calls. They hold them hostage, and they say you have to pay to get to talk to your loved ones. They make them pay for anything other than slot to eat. I mean, it's ridiculous. They make so much money off of them.
It's like here in Michigan, I want to say, I think it was $48 or $68 per day that they get a grant from the state per inmate. So if there's 1,200 inmates, like even at $50 per person a day, $50 times 1,200, that's what they're bringing in a day. Just to, you know, run the prison on top of all the numbers you just mentioned, not including the merchandise or gear that they're making or sewing or cleaning or whatever they're doing for their job, as they call it in there. And the commissary they're making money on, like you said, they sell ramen noodles like for, I think it was like $2 or $3 per pack, and they're $4 for $1.
Exactly. They are it's bullshit. And they are getting, who do you think pays for that? The family's having to pay for this stuff. It's holding somebody hostage and making them pay to be able to talk to their life. It's exactly that. And they are making tons of money.
All for smoking cannabis. That is not a criminal crime. Like, they didn't rape nobody. They didn't kill nobody. They didn't rob nobody. They didn't hold nobody hostage. They didn't kidnap anybody. They haven't assaulted anybody. Like, those are serious crimes that I could be like, all right, well, y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do, my bad. But it's cannabis. Like, I'm sitting here doing the exact same thing, and I'm actually buying it from the government and paying tax dollars on it. I'm going in and saying, okay, well, they're $15 for taxes. Let's go ahead and get an eighth. Uncle Sam's gonna get 15. The store is going to make X amount of profit, and then I'm going to get to walk away with my merchandise, and it's completely legal. And I'm going to roll it up in the parking lot, and I'm going to, when I get home, smoke that shit. So how the hell are they going to jail for that shit? Like, I get how, but like, they shouldn't be, is the whole concept here.
Yeah,
we literally have it legal. We hold events.
They basically been given a death.
I go to events where cannabis is.
Carrie was just saying COVID is running rampant in prisons, and prisoners aren't getting the medical care they are legally entitled to, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. Like, and this is true because, okay, I know y'all know Craig Cecil probably. He was in there for 19 years. He needed insulin. They actually took it away from him as a punishment. They took his insulin away from him because he was in trouble. Like, what the fuck? Like, that guy needs his insulin. Like, he may lose his leg. And then we know little Addie was in jail, and he died. They killed him. They withheld his insulin, y'all, and killed him. That's what happened to little Addie. And so this happens all the time.
That is so sad. That's sad. I can't see how you can withhold an FDA medication that the government states that I need to stay alive with diabetes. I need the insulin. So no matter what I did, even pedophiles get insulin. So I don't see what he could have done that was so bad that they had to take his insulin. You could throw him in the hole. You could, take away his visitation. You could take away his yard hour. You could take away his phone calls. There's so many other things to take away than the insulin.
Yes.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they're not giving them their basic needs. That's any prisoner. I don't care if you've done a crime, you deserve your insulin. Like,
Absolutely.
you deserve that's your right. They have to feed you and give you water and make sure you have fresh air at times. It's a human being. You can't just throw them in a box no matter what they've done. They're there to rehabilitate.
Right,
and we're talking about a victimless crime here. They're rehabilitated if they've already been in there more than a year to begin with. And life, really? Life for a plant? It's crazy.
They're rehabilitated after 30 days. Marijuana takes 30 days to get out of your system. I'm rehabilitated. I can piss clean for you. 30 days. I don't even need a year. I'll take the 30 days. Okay. But I could see 30 days. But after that, it doesn't make sense. And it sounds to me like, first of all, the government is legally responsible for all of your medical problems when they take you in as an inmate and you become a ward of the state as an inmate. They are now legally responsible, like your parents or guardian, to provide all forms of medical attention for you, including your prescription daily medications. Sometimes that outweighs the cost. So that patient is spending, let's say, $300 a day on treatment, and I'm only getting $50 a day for him to be here. So it's actually costing the prison money to have that inmate. And I feel like that's when those inmates are denied their medications, because sadly it's easier if they're dead than alive financially, because for the system. And that's not fair. That's
and
not
they make
just
enough
because
money.
I'm sick and you chose to incarcerate me because I smoked this for money.
And they make enough
like
money.
You make enough money, you can pay that extra $50 a day or $3 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. But they're choosing, feel like that's where the choice is coming into play, is the dollars and the economic factor there. Just like their food, they choose the cheapest meal possible so they can have every penny left.
It's greed. It really is. They get money for this, y'all. They get it out of our taxes pay for this.
We pay for these services.
They're not even feeding them right. In some cases, they only get 2 bottles of water a day. And Carrie is saying Lance Glore has yet to receive medication and medical tests that were prescribed to him in October 2021. He is in there for pot. He should be out and released immediately. I know that, Carrie, if you will please put the stuff in for Lance so that people can contact, so they can fix that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He should be getting his medications. A doctor prescribed it.
Can we go to change?
Taking them a year to
fill out a petition.
Right.
Can we?
I know that Carrie does a lot. Carrie does a lot of that. Carrie and Lance, Lance's mom, they've got something going right now. If y'all go to the Carrie Cannon Facebook page, all she does is she gets mass letters together for these people that we're talking about to get their medicine. You'll be the mass calls, you'll call, you'll write these people, and she tells you who to write. She basically writes it all up for you and tells you this is what you got to do step by step. It takes like 2 seconds to make these phone calls, and they do. It's been a proven fact that they help.
I'll help that person their meds, and without their meds they're going to die in prison, and that's not fair. They need their diabetes meds or they need to be released right now.
Right, for sure. Sarah, I know that you haven't had a lot of time to talk. I want to make sure we're getting what you need in there too. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Girl, I don't agree with any of the prison stuff. I've said everything I need to say. I just want to show the love from Cam 420 Radio. Let everybody know that we're going to be there on July 10th and represent and go do our little protests. And I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to see the campus community in DFW again. Like, most of their events are in Dallas. So unfortunately, that's like a 2-hour drive away from me. It's impossible for me to get to a lot. But Fort Worth, Arlington area, I can get there. So that's where we're going to have it. It's halfway between Dallas and Fort Worth, so all the people can make it. And I just can't wait to see Russell. He's going to be there. Troy with
Oh.
Roast Bud, man, he's going to do some giveaways. We're going to have some hot dogs, make up some signs, get out there on the street, get people honking. We'll be doing interviews, right, Farah, for the show, and for that's going to be fun. So I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Their medical stories with cannabis, because we all have a story, like we all have one. So
Yep.
I can't
That
wait
is
to
the
get-
main reason I started this show, was all the stories. Like, they all mean something. And I say time and time again, and I'm going to say it again, we just need to educate people and get them to relate. And not everybody can relate with my story, but they may be able to relate for the fact that Farah's been off her blood pressure medication. And man, they may have a grandma that's taking blood pressure medication and that could benefit from this, or like opioid addiction and stuff like that. Was on methamphetamines, and I've been clean for years. It was an exit drug for me, not a gateway drug, which has been proven for so many people. So I just wanted to get people to be able to relate to some story so that they could go, oh, I know my grandma has that. It might be able to help her. Or my son has seizures and none of these medicines are helping. Like, it's just some story that somebody can relate to.